Okay, first of all, I'm going to talk about, I had a nasty accident again. In Thailand 13 weeks ago. 3.5 years ago, I had an accident in a car. Somebody ran to the side of this SUV. I was a passenger and flipped it over a few times. Broke my clavicle, 2 ribs, and collarbone. And I was back to making love with my girlfriend 5 days later. So, you know, accidents can't keep me down, broken bones. However, this last one, I used to own 3 motorcycles when I was a kid. And then when somebody ran me off the road in Los Angeles on one of the freeways, I decided to get rid of them. When a truck purposely ran me off. So I went to Thailand this last time, worked a week in Bangkok, and then went to Jom Tien to take a week vacation. And I rented a big Harley while I was there. I didn't have that Harley for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I was going on a business street, only about 18 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour maximum, and there was no intersection, no driveway, no crosswalk, and these 5 tourists jumped right out in the street in front of me. So it was either hit them and take a chance on killing 2 of them, because it was a pretty big bike, it's about 350 pounds or so, and spending my life in jail in Thailand, because when you hit somebody and kill somebody in Thailand, it doesn't matter who's at fault. So I decided to bury it to the pavement. So it buried it on my leg. So when I hit the pavement, of course, the asphalt pulled my rump back this way and damaged my sciatica. And then the bike took my leg that way. So it popped it. I thought it was gone. I thought my leg was off and separated at the knee. It hurt so badly. And it took me a minute and about 15 seconds to get the guts to look down to see if my leg was still there. And it was still there. And the bike, stopped about 3 feet from them. And they just stood there. And then they walked away.
Oh, really?
They just stood there in the road and walked away. Once, yeah. So, and this one Thai lady, probably about 36, 37 years old, she saw it. She came and stayed with me. And I stayed on the street for 20 minutes because the pain was so bad. I wasn't going to move. And everybody said, it's called the ambulance. And I said, no, I'm not going to any hospital.
Yeah.
So, at least not in that condition, because it took all of the skin off of here, all the way down, all the way back. I was in shorts and T-shirts, so it took all of the skin all the way up here too. So there was no way I was going to go to a hospital and have them put iodine on it and give me an injection to settle me down, because I was refusing everything. So it took me about 35 to 40 minutes to settle the pain down, where I got on a taxi. And there, the taxis are just cut out pickup trucks with a frame on top and 2 metal benches on the side. So I took a taxi. I lied on the floor. The Thai lady took care of arranging getting a couple Thai motorbike driver taxis to take my motorcycle back to the hotel with me, following the taxi, the other kind of taxi. So I got back to the hotel. I had lime juice and I had coconut cream and honey there, so I cleaned all the wounds. Of course, with the asphalt, there were chunks of asphalt all over, so it was black, all over. So took the lime juice and cleaned it, because lime juice, let me give you an example. You see this little piece right here?
Yeah.
That's a piece of the asphalt coming out. And that was 3 months ago. But when you put the lime juice on it, it surrounds it. If you don't do that, then your body uses phenomenal amounts of white blood cells. And then that's called an infection. It will keep pussing and blistering. But the lime juice stops all that. It will bring it to the skin eventually and just keep coming off in a slight scab.
So any kind of fall is required if you hurt yourself.
So you want to do it with any kind of a wound, cut, anything like that. Use lime juice. Lemon juice is a bacterial. It incites bacterial activity. That's why they use it for marinating. It helps degeneration. It helps break down. It helps predigestion of foods. So you don't want to put that on your wounds because it'll just eat away your own body. Lime juice seals it, seals the toxin. Oh, it stings like hell.
Yeah. You just rubbed it, take a lime and just rub it.
I took the lime, squeezed it, and rubbed it in, and I mean vigorously. And there was no skin and no muscle here. It even scaled some of the bone away. This bone, you can see this bone's a little larger than this one now. And it took some of this bone away. Went down on the pavement. And didn't take any of the bone here. It shaved some of the ankle bone away. Pavement. So the ankle tendon that was over the ankle got scraped off, so it buckled up on both sides. The two tendons here, you've got two rope tendons on either side of the knee. This one ripped this way and this one ripped this way, so they were buckled up like this on the ends. So I got back to the hotel, I washed everything out and put coconut cream in it on everything and then put honey on it. And then the leg looked so bad and was in so much pain that I thought that it was dislocated. So I said, well, call a taxi, let's go to the hospital. I want to have a reset. So they called the hospital and the ambulance came. 4 attendants. Take me to the hospital, one driver, it cost me $12.50. The price difference is astounding. So I got there, and the intern freaked out when he saw my leg and my body. I wouldn't let them touch any of my wounds. I said, I've already cleaned it. They don't see any iodine on it or any methylate, so they think that, I'm nuts. And I told them I cleaned it with the lime juice and the coconut cream and honey. And that was fine. I didn't need anything else. So the intern was, he's probably only about 27, 28 years old, and he wasn't going to touch this leg. And so he called an osteosurgeon. Osteosurgeon came, but he said the osteosurgeon is going to do anything without an X-ray. I kind of figured that at that point, so I said, you get 2 X-rays, one shot this way, one shot that way, and that's it. You have to make your decision from those. So by the time the osteosurgeon got there, I had the X-rays done. I have them right here, and you've got a big tibia bone right here that's about as big as mine's about as big as my fist. And it goes down, all the way down to the ankle. And then you've got another bone that's smaller. It goes on the back side, back inner side, on both legs. So that tibia, the big bone, was split in two, with about 1/4 inch or more in the back open. Plus the tibia goes up like this, and the femur sits down in it like this. It broke the top off. Other splintered fragments of that cartilage were in the knee joint. So the osteosurgeon said, there's no way you're ever going to walk again unless we do surgery. You've got bone fragments there. It's going to stab the nerves in the knee joint, and you're just not going to be able to put any weight on it. He said, of course, I can't put a cast on it unless you let me operate. I said, I want a cast anyway. When I was 9 years old, I had a ladder collapse and I shattered my heel cap, and I had a cast for 12 weeks. I was going nuts. Because you can't scratch it. I mean, I would take hammers and hit it when it was scratching, itching so badly. And no baths, no showers, anything like that. So everything was sponge bathing. And that was no fun. I love water. Yeah. So I said, I want a cast anyway. And he goes... And I said, I elect not to accept the surgery, but I'll be back in 6 weeks if I can't walk. And he goes, it thinks I'm out of my mind. So the hospital drove me back free of charge, back to the hotel. So I called my girlfriend who lived in the next town, and she knows my diet and everything. So I called her. The next day, I had enough food coming from Bangkok to make it through Saturday, probably part of Sunday. So she came on Saturday, bought all the food that I needed, the coconut cream, because over there coconut cream is easy. They make it everywhere. Everybody eats it. And it's called gati there. So she brought all the food that I needed. And then she stayed with me. I had that one woman and my girlfriend stayed with me 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. And, I mean, I was in pain constantly. Plus, my girlfriend got a wheelchair. A wheelchair there, a good wheelchair, cost $125. Here it costs $1,000 or more. So, got me a wheelchair. Got someone else that just arrived. You want to try to sit back over there? I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. Can you bring that one over here more? They were taking cold coconut cream. We'd leave it in the refrigerator, and that's the only thing I would allow cold on the leg. I had some hot water bottles, and of course they went under and around the legs, different areas. The places where I had no muscle, the skin as well as the muscle was gone, here and here, and in here I put strips of thin strips of meat to seal that over. And I took gauze on all the areas where I put the honey and the coconut cream. I only used the lime juice for 2 days. And then after that, no more lime juice. Then after that was just coconut cream and honey. And then the gauze. And the gauze, I would soak in coconut cream, then take the raw butter and put a thin layer on that so the wounds would never dry. And if they never dry, they won't scar. And then you'll replace the tissue very quickly. So in exactly 2 weeks, all of the skin had completely replaced itself. Couldn't even see that any skin was gone from here. I do have some scars still left here. Little bubbles of scars here. And here you can see there's a little bit of scar there. And here there's a little bit. You can see it's still red here and down on the ankle. You can see here, part of this bone and all that was gone, all this was gone. So that's the only scarring left.
It probably goes away after a while.
It will go, that'll go away. It'll probably take about a year and it will be gone. And you can see the knee is still larger than the other one. And I can't straighten it all the way yet. But interesting thing that happened, within a few days, all of the muscle in this thigh disappeared. So I had this hanging flesh on this bone, this femur bone. And all of that went to make a cast. And the cast came from here down to the end of my toes. And you could hit it. It was like a hard cast inside under my skin. So the body formed its own cast. However, when I tried to lift my leg, it still hurt very badly here. The tendons grew back in 1 week, but the pain didn't. In fact, I don't think that I had much pain from the broken bone. What I had the pain was from those tendons that had ripped. And those tendons, this one still aches a little bit sometimes, when I waken in the morning. Not when I walk, but when I waken in the morning. So, I mean, the women were very nice. They slept on the one girl slept on the floor, They're pretty used to that there. And then my girlfriend, of course, slept in bed with me. But anytime I would moan, they'd be up and rubbing my leg, just very attentive. It was fabulous to see two people helping me, so nicely like that. But the pain was so excruciating that I spent a lot of the time in the bathtub. Because when I hit the pavement and bruised my sciatica swelled about this big. Because I went down with a 350-pound bike and hit the pavement. So it was pretty bad. So I could only sleep like this, with pillows under this, with hot water bottles on the side of it, towels draped over it. So this leg was up on towels, and I had to sleep on this side. Well, you can only sleep so long on one side of your body, so I'd have to get into the bathtub. So I'd have to get use the crutches to get to the wheelchair to get to the bathroom, the crutches to get from the door into the bathtub, and the ladies lifted my leg up into the bathtub as I sat on the edge of the bathtub. So that went on for about 2 weeks, And then I was okay. I was able to get around on crutches. Didn't have to use the wheelchair very much. But in that second week, I had some computer problems, and I still have to work. So, I work a few hours at a time on my computer. And I had some computer difficulties, so I had to go to a computer store in that town, and wheeling me, and these two Thai ladies are telling everybody, because both of them had been in motorbike accidents and had huge scars, from where they had been in accidents. Mine much worse than theirs. Mine was all sealed over already, and barely noticeable after a week. And this one, it took 2 weeks, and this it took 2 weeks. The one on the angle took 2 weeks. So we're going around telling everybody, lime juice, coconut cream, honey. They'd stop anybody because they couldn't believe that an old man, 60 years old, could heal that quickly from that bad of an accident. And they thought that I was crazy for not having the doctors take care of my leg, too. And then, after 2 weeks, I was getting around, so I let the one girl go, and then my girlfriend stayed with me for another month. So I pretty much stayed in the hotel room up till about the third week, and then the third week, I decided the leg needed some exercise, and I couldn't walk on it yet. Still too much pain. However, the pain wasn't excruciating. It was bad, but not excruciating after that point. So I started going into the swimming pool at the hotel. They agreed to lower the chlorine level and all of that. But after 5 days, I started getting the swimmer's earaches and the sore throat and the sinus problems and the headaches. So then I decided that I had to go across the road to the ocean. So there was the bay. They have a gulf there, where I was. So I had to walk with crutches, down these stairs that were about probably 100 stairs to get down to it. So I'd have my crutches going all the way down the stairs. And then I have to walk on the crutches through the sand out to the ocean. Then I had to put my crutches down and hop into the ocean far enough to get there. But it's a pretty shallow area. So I would get up to about this level, and I would go a mile. I would walk a mile, exercising the leg.
Walk in the ocean?
Walk in the ocean, yeah. So, they didn't have big waves because it's a gulf. And it was pretty quiet. I mean, if there's storms, and you might have some big waves, or big boats, come by. So I would exercise 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening to get the leg moving and make sure it was okay. One time, something like a jellyfish, you step on those things and your foot goes down and down. Well, this one went in, and they had to pull it back out, and it popped the leg apart again. Oh my God. So that was hell. That was after about 4 weeks. So then I had another 2 days of excruciating pain there, and then, I just made sure that I touched ahead of that foot before I stepped that foot forward, every other time that I walked out there. That only happened one time, but I did find a couple of those things that I would have stepped into had I not taken the time to check it. And then after about 6 weeks, I threw the crutches away and started walking on it almost painlessly. And then after 6.5 weeks, I got on a plane and came back. And it's 13 weeks as of last night. They said I'd never walk again without surgery.
Oh.
Now what I did to change, to help the bone dissolve those fragments, I used 3/4 of a cup of pineapple, half a cup of coconut cream, and a half a cup of honey. Blended those together and put it in a cup of milk. And had that and had cheese. I would have about 8 ounces of cheese, which is, a slice of cheese, about like this, like you get in a package of cheese. And I eat one of those a day, and about almost a liter what I called my pineapple gâteau mix, my pineapple coconut cream mix, pineapple coconut cream and honey and milk mix. So the minerals in the cheese will help restore minerals in my body quickly to handle this. I knew that all of that muscle had disappeared, and I just had flesh over because my body needed all the nutrients to make that cast on its own. But within 2 weeks after the cast had been made, which was by the end of the first week, then 2 weeks after that, on the third week, the cast started disappearing from the foot and in this area and in this area. It's still here. This is still pretty much hardened cast right here. If you feel this, you can feel softness around. If you feel this, you see it's still hard like a cast around there. The whole leg was like that. So this is the only area where it's still slightly cast, even though, and I can still move it.
It's amazing how the body covers helps you.
If you know what to eat, the body is extraordinary.
Yeah.
You know what to do. So the pineapple helps bone rebuild. Also, the pineapple with the coconut cream helps dissolve bone tissue if your body needs to do it. It can use it for either way. So that's how I did it so quickly. So I did that every day for 2 weeks. Then after that, I just mainly ate cheese and honey together, and cheese with everything, but mainly cheese and honey to get the body to utilize the minerals. So that's an excellent supplement, is cheese and honey together. But the cheese and honey have to be in the mouth together to make it work. If you have cheese by itself or another food with honey in it, if the honey is already absorbed by the other food and utilized with the other food, and won't necessarily do much with the cheese. So the honey and the cheese have to be, the honey and the cheese have to be together in the mouth for you to digest it. Otherwise, the cheese mainly acts as a sponge to attract heavy metals and other toxic substances out of the nervous system, the bloodstream, and the lymphatic system as they weave their way through the digestive tract. So that the cheese will just start absorbing all those poisons, so to leave the minerals from your food to be able to feed your cells. Because many people are mineral deficient, extremely mineral deficient. Because when your body has a toxin in it, it uses a lot of calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium to bind with the toxin. The example is plaque on your teeth. Now, why does the body build plaque on the teeth? Because when the brain detoxifies its heavy metals, it does it mainly out the gums and the tongue. That's why you get that white crust on your tongue, that white plaque on your tongue. The body will take those heavy metals that are coming from the brain, because the brain uses a lot of heavy metals, or metallic minerals, to conduct electricity and transmit light. And that's how the brain communicates. It's like a computer. So it takes metallic minerals to do that. So when the metallic minerals are toxic from eating cooked foods or chemicals or any medication or preservatives, inorganic fertilizers, anything that contain, and your pollution in the air, that's, most of it goes to the brain and nervous system, and when it dumps, it comes out the mouth. That's why people shrivel in the face quicker than anywhere else, because the brain is pulling that fats all in the face. When you're thirsty, it doesn't have anything to do with water. It's the fat being ripped out of your face. So you put coconut cream or butter in your mouth, some kind of a good fat that can be readily absorbable. Even the fat in honey, even though it's very small, is an incredible fat. And it will absorb into the body. In fact, if you make a mixture of 6 to 9 parts coconut cream to 1 part honey, that's a great lip gloss. And that'll take care of that dry mouth and cotton mouth and thirst. Also takes wrinkles away from the mouth. So, the minerals will, the calcium, the magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus will bind with those heavy metals as they're coming through the gums to try to protect your dentine So that's what plaque is. It's a protective coating of all those minerals. But look how many minerals it takes to do that. Phenomenal amount. And if you're eating cooked foods, there's no way you'll ever keep up with that mineral loss. Cooking at 141 degrees destroys 50% of the calcium. Just at 141 degrees. So that's why pasteurization was so bad. Now that pasteurization is up around 169 to 170 degrees. So almost 90% of the calcium is destroyed. And do you know what they do in pasteurized milk? They get mined calcium. Mined calcium. And they shovel it into the tanks and then stir it up in there. Because when they pasteurize and skim the milk and treat it nowadays, it turns blue. So they put the calcium also in it to turn it white. The vitamin D that they add to it is hydrogenated vegetable oils, which is plastic. And they irradiate it with ultraviolet lights and call that vitamin D. Doesn't have any relationship to vitamin D. But you can convince any politician. You say, oh, sun rays, radiation, touches fat in the body, turns it into vitamin D. So we'll make vitamin D by taking fat and irradiating. That is their thinking. And people buy it. People accept it. So all that vitamin D is completely toxic. It's irradiated plastic. And then they just sell you that this milk is good, this pasteurized milk is good. A lot of people want to know what homogenization is. Homogenization is when they take the milk and they press it through a very, very fine sieve with high pressure. So it splits the fat molecule. And when the fat molecule splits, it absorbs all the solids in the milk, so then it never separates. Your cream never separates. That's homogenization. However, when the fat molecule absorbs all of those solids, they're indigestible. So you're going to be drinking milk all the day long, pasteurized milk, never going to be satisfied. That's the way with any processed food. There's no nutrient value, so you're always going to be hungry.
That sounds criminal.
It's all criminal. Any way they make food, it's criminal. Because there's no nutrient value, no true nutrient value in it.
The X-ray that you had, isn't going to help by you taking the butter and the cheese and the honey out?
She asked, was the X-ray harmful to me? And would it use up nutrients? Of course. That's why I didn't go back. And I'm going to wait till my leg completely heals before I do the other X-rays to show people how the leg can heal without medical help. But I'm going to wait till the leg is completely healed, because any X-ray slows healing. That's why I didn't want to have the X-rays. But the leg was in such bad shape, and I mean, it looked terrible, knotted here, and it looked like the leg had been completely twisted and broken. So that's why I had the X-rays, because I wanted it put back in place, but it was in place. It was just fragmented.
So what do you do to get rid of that X-ray poison?
I ate avocado and orange together.
Well, that's right.
To get rid of the radiation. So I didn't do that until after 2 weeks of eating the pineapple mixture. When I stopped eating the pineapple mixture, I started eating the avocado and orange together to get rid of the radiation. But I'm sure it slowed it down a bit, the healing process. Okay, anybody have any questions about all that?
Were you eating meat?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Gosh, yes, I have to. Yeah, because I wouldn't heal properly. I wouldn't have enough protein. So I was eating somewhere around, about 1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds a day.
Just
What was the
beef.
question?
Was I eating meat? Did I eat meat?
What kind of?
No, I ate probably 50% chicken, about 20% fish, and about 30% beef, buffalo.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself from going into the shop? Or how should anybody, handle like something like that where you're completely shook up and you kept your wits about you completely, but a normal person wouldn't.
Well, it's just that, I made up my mind that unless I kept my wits, they were going to do anything they wanted to. So I just wouldn't allow myself to get into a state of lack of control, lack of awareness, consciousness.
So what should a normal person do if they get like bad news or a shock or something like that?
Breathe heavily and say, hey, it's part of life. It is. It's just part of life. Yes.
I'm glad to see you're going to do it before and after so we can have the evidence.
Yeah. I wish that I'd had a camera to shoot all this because it was amazing. I was shocked. I mean, really, from this whole area, like this, not only the skin was gone, the muscle and part of the bone was shaved. For that to seal up in 2 weeks was amazing. I mean, it was still very red and tender. But the bone had some of the bone had grown back, not all of it. It's still partially gone. And all of the muscle in the skin had grown back, even though it wasn't mature flesh yet.
Did you breathe heavy?
Oh, gosh, yes. Absolutely. Deep, slow breaths.
Do they have clean meats and whatnot in Thailand?
I don't like clean meats. If they're clean, I don't want them.
Or meat that you find high quality?
Absolutely. Because, most of these farmers can't afford anything. So, and there's lots of grass. It rains, practically every day. So the grasses grow rich, like in Hawaii. They're rich. You don't have to feed them anything else. There's so much food for them. The buffaloes and the cows, that they'll just eat all this grass. And it's so tall and thick, you can graze like 50 cows on, about 5 acres or 4 acres constantly because they can't even eat all that grass. It's pretty amazing. So if I go to an outdoor market, that's where I get my meat. And all the flies are on it, that's what I want. Yes.
You must have had a pretty good adrenaline rush in that kind of situation.
No, I try to keep that down because adrenaline causes me to get angry.
Okay.
And might cause me to be a little short, in my respect. Like that young, intern. Oh my God, you're crazy. I mean, that's in bad shape. And he just went. And if I had taken offense to that, if I had had a high adrenaline, I might have taken a high offense to that, as I would in my earlier days. So I keep part of that is keeping the adrenaline from starting to pump.
Especially since they just walked away those dirty thieves.
Yeah. I just said, these are sad people, they can just jump out in the street like that and then stand there and I'm coming at them and, I hit. If they had jumped out of the way, it would have been different. But they just froze like a deer, with lights in their eyes. So
They didn't even look, they just jumped.
They didn't even look, they just jumped right into the street. As if they were the only people. Of course, I was slightly on the left side of the road, because I wanted to allow cars to go past me. So they weren't paying attention to this inside of the road.
Regarding the cheese and honey, whenever you eat it, they should both be in the mouth together.
Yes.
Snack, what have you.
Yep.
Very good.
If you want to absorb the honey, as you want to absorb the minerals and the fats in it, and the protein. If you don't, if you want it to be a sponge and a magnet for toxins, you don't eat it with honey. You just eat it alone. But that doesn't mean you can't eat it with a meal. It'll still act like that with a meal. Now, honey's the only thing that will convert that cheese into something that digests. We're talking about raw cheese here. Pasteurized cheese is already fractionated. You're going to absorb those minerals even though they're cauterized, and they're going to do some damage in your system. For the first time, I had a patient who had a tumor that had very little chemical in it. He had a lot of DMSO in it because he used to take that DMSO chemical, and it's, sold as something really good. So he had DMSO in it, plus it had tons of magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. Off the charts in those minerals, but very low on calcium comparatively. And he had taken supplements galore, mineral supplements. Of course, these were cauterized minerals, so his body couldn't use them. So he created this huge tumor. And when it was finally removed, and I had it analyzed, those were the results of it. First tumor that I'd had analyzed that didn't have some kind of heavy industrial compound in it, some chemical, or heavy metal. And it had no heavy metals. It had all the light metals, and way too many of them.
Why was he taking DMSO?
Pardon?
Why was he taking DMSO in the first place?
I think he was warding off arthritis or rheumatism, something like that. So, and that was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
He's all right now?
Pardon?
He's okay now?
Yeah, he's okay. Okay, we're going to go around. Do you have a question, Barbara?
Yes, I do. I'm honored to be the first one. I know I'll get my question in.
Okay.
My question is, have you ever heard of probiotics, meaning live organisms that can be ingested? And do you know anything about it, and what do you think of it?
Well, it depends. Most of your she asked what probiotics are and are they any good. And there are different forms of probiotics. There are some companies that sell you worm casings. That's worm shit. And they sell that as a probiotic. And it is. Fecal matter is highly digested matter that is easily absorbed and utilized in the body. You have to understand that we've had a lot of chemicals, we've had processed foods, so all of our natural bacteria and the bacteria of the bacteria, which are infinitely finite and macro, are all gone because of soda pop and beer and alcohol and all the chemicals that are in everything and preservatives. So we have very little natural environment in our intestines. So eating worm casings is a good thing. Eating fecal matter from a healthy creature is a good thing. Observed it many times. Getting trichinosis, if you look at the work of Dr. Weinstock, Joel Weinstock of Iowa University, found that giving the whipworm, the trichinosis, to his patients who suffered inflammatory bowel syndrome, cases from 10 to 32 years, then the 6 of his first patients that he gave it to, 5 of them that were asymptomatic in 6 days after getting the trichinosis. And we've all been told, trichinosis. Whoever gives us that information wants you to be harmed. Because trichinosis exists in the human digestive tract naturally and the pig's digestive tract. And Weinstock found this because he found that the pigs at Iowa University were all sick. And he found the only chemical difference in their intestines were that the pigs in the wild at the farm had trichinosis and the pigs at the university didn't. So he took the trichinosis and gave it to the pigs at the university, and they got well in 2 days. 2 days. So he got permission from the FDA to give it to 6 of his patients. But they told him the only way you can do that is if your patients have suffered for 10 years or longer. First time I heard about that law. No MD can give you any alternative unless you've suffered 10 years without recovery from the medical system. That means that the law has condemned you 10 years in the medical profession. 10 years in the medical profession. So, don't go to a doctor. He is committed to treating you with chemicals. He can treat you with chemicals and alternatives at the same time, but he still has to use his own medical therapy, or else he's out of a job.
Is that federal law?
It's a federal law, and all stated laws that all states adopted it.
You know what it's called?
Don't remember. I forgot what was I going with that. Oh, the probiotics. So the probiotics add all of that, those kind of infinite bacteria back to the body. Some people eat worms. Some people eat fecal matter. Some people eat high meat that's allowed to grow with lots of bacteria. There are many ways to get those probiotics. Probiotics means living, decaying matter. Pre-broken down. Pre-digested. Now people ask me, why does the high meat work so quickly? 10, 20 minutes, and you can go from depression to happiness like that. Because when the bacteria feeds on those meats, it pre-digests them. It won't work on your own system. It won't work on your own tissue. It only works on the tissue of that meat. When you it goes through your digestive tract, you're supposed to have all those minute bacteria to do that already in your intestines. We're pretty well robbed of it. We've poisoned our system. Then when you get down to the bowel, you have all that E. coli. E. coli is responsible for the final digestion of fats and proteins. Reduces it to those finite molecules that feed the brain and the nervous system. If your E. coli is poor, you're not going to feed your brain and your nervous system. When you make high meat, the bacteria that naturally grows in it and starts pre-digesting it breaks it down to those finite molecules already. So your body doesn't have to wait 16, 18 hours until it gets into the bowel. It works immediately. You've absorbed those proteins and those fats and those finite molecules to feed your brain and nervous system. That way it works so miraculously. Okay?
There are some companies that sell probiotics that maybe I'll just email you.
Well, there's the Primal Defense. Their pill form is ridiculous. Once you solidify it into pill form, all those things are dead. The powder form, it's dry. You need to put it in juice or put it in, you need to let it start becoming alive by hydrating it with something. Could be a little bit of fermented vegetable juice that will help bring it back to life. But you don't want to have the pill form, and you don't want to take the capsules that it comes in. You take it out of the capsules if you're going to have that. That's mainly worm casings. There are others. There's the EMs, and that's in a liquid form. I don't trust those because they're not from food. They're mainly with fish and amphibians. So I'm not sure that they're proper for the human digestive tract. I have not experimented with it, not in a situation where I have a laboratory again to work in. So I won't be doing any on that until I set up the laboratory in the clinic in Thailand.
When will that be, by the year?
About 3-4 years.
Oh, you bought the
before
place?
It's completed.
You bought the property already?
Don't want to talk about that yet. Okay? Those are the only two that I know about. Okay. Those two products. Yeah, EMs and the Primal Defense. Okay, do you have a question?
Regenerate the way bone can?
She asked, can teeth regenerate the way bone can? No. Not in my experience. I've only found it happen with 2 people. They were under 25. One had a huge cavity, and he didn't have it filled, and within 6 months of starting to drink raw milk, it filled in. The whole tooth, the tubule filled in, and then the dentine grew back. Now, I've had teeth where It's only been in the last 6 years that I have fillings, that the body starts growing back, the facials, starts growing the tubules, and it'll grow, it'll take that composite filling and grow it out, so it's got all these edges on it, and I have to keep having it drilled down and filed down because the tubule is now growing, 60 years old, so now it's finally come to that I'm healthy enough.
You can go back if you're on the diet long enough.
If you're on the diet long enough, it's probably very possible.
Even
depends upon how severe the damage is that you sustain. And my teeth are a mess from chemo and radiation. So I'm lucky I got the bone back, around my teeth, because after radiation therapy, I lost all the bone around my teeth. So my teeth dangled in my gums like this. So if I bit down on my own teeth, I lost about a half a cup of blood at a time. Couldn't stop the bleeding. So what I did was I blended my donuts in RC Cola and then drank it with a thick straw. That's why I was then. I didn't know any better. But then when I started drinking raw milk within a year and a half of drinking the raw milk on a daily basis, about anywhere from half a gallon to a gallon a day, my bone around my teeth all restored. Okay.
More again, somebody found themselves down at the doctor's bed or something like that. Is there some, maybe put some cream under the tongue, some way that, will help somebody calm down further?
If you're lying on the street, I don't think so.
Well, no.
So
I'm not using your example anymore. In general, if they're in the kitchen, and they got cream and.
Well, anytime you have a trauma and distress, the main thing is to settle your heart. Slow it down, because the harder the heart pumps, the faster the heart pumps, the faster the blood goes through the kidneys and excite the adrenal glands. So if you settle yourself down, breathe slowly and deeply, do pranayama, like inhale to the count of 5, hold it to a count of 5, exhale to a count of 5, you'll force yourself to come down. Everything will settle. And of course, to settle your nerves, the chemicals that are already rushing around in your body, drink about a half a cup of cream.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes, Aajonus, I would like to ask you, is there a connection between emergence and need of the pH balance in the body?
The what in the pH?
I've been having difficulty eating the raw meat. I'm very repulsed by it. And I wondered if there was a connection between the pH of the body, alkaline acid, that would possibly cause that, because some days I can eat the meat with no trouble, and then the next day or two I'm just totally repulsed by it.
When the bloodstream or the intestines gets over alkalinized, it causes a neutralizing of the acid digestive juices in the intestines, so you won't be able to digest the meat well. Well, you need to reduce the amount of fruit that you're eating to almost nothing. Have no more than maybe 12 ounces of vegetable juice a day and break it up into 3-4 ounces at a time. And then you shouldn't have a problem. People who have that problem eat too much fruit or they drink too much vegetable juice. That over-alkalinizes the intestine. Okay? Do you have a question?
Come back again. You're trying to formulate.
Okay. Do you have a question back there? Okay. Do you have a question?
Okay. Yeah, I have a little problem with red eyes, bloodshot eyes, and I was just wondering.
Like I said in the book, egg white.
Egg white.
Egg white. You just put egg white in your eye, and your eyes will be white quickly. Also, if you have blurring vision, your eyes are not in good shape, and you have to wear glasses, putting egg white in the eye twice a day has improved, in 60% of the clients has improved the vision by 30% in a year. And the way I do it when I do it is I'll
have an egg and a little egg white in a glass. And I dip my finger in it, so I got a little bubble of it. Pull the lid down, rub it along the sclera, the bottom of the white of the eye on the bottom. Then I'll hold the eye open like this. Does this look good? And I'll roll the eye around like a circus master to get all the egg white all around. It takes about 3 minutes, so your eyes aren't blurred, your vision isn't blurred, and the eyes just relax and cool. And then the redness just goes away.
Do you change it with like purified water or anything?
No. You want to leave that in there. Egg white is 90% exactly like the fluid that your eye, the tears that you make, higher in protein. And that's really good because then it strengthens the cornea. And when this cornea gets weak is when it starts warping and you lose your vision.
I've been putting lime juice in there for ages, and I felt like I should wash it out after.
Yeah, that's an antibacterial. Yeah, but put egg white in to wash it out. Two worked better.
I put it in egg white, and then I put it in with a drop.
Then you put egg white in pure by itself after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Pure egg white after that to wash it out. Okay. You can use an eyedropper, but then you have to clean the freaking eyedropper.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I like to eat my eggs right out of the shell, Put a dent in the fat end and a big break in the other end and suck it out that way. They don't have to clean the glass.
But, I've been doing that for, 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
And, at 63, I still have glasses, I can see close and I can see far.
That's great. Another thing that happened when this accident happened, my eyesight started going for about 2 months. And, because of all the nutrients that it took to heal all of this wound. So it was borrowing from everywhere, not just this leg. Oh, and as soon as the cast started going away, the muscle in the leg redeveloped. As the cast went away, the muscles came back. I mean, it's just like a miracle. It's like shape-shifting. My first experience like that. Because I looked at my leg, after a week and a half, and I just had this bone here and this sagging flesh. Oh, it was disgusting. But I trusted the process. It was good.
For instance, a friend of mine broke his leg. He had he tried to put it back together with all the stuff, all the tools and everything, and they never heal.
Yeah, that's a problem with some people. They just do not heal because they don't eat a good diet.
Exactly. I was going to ask. That was my next question. That could be.
But it took me 3 months of eating properly to catch up on all the loss.
Okay.
3 months. Then my vision started going back into its proper form again.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore glasses for a month and a half. To read. Now I don't have to anymore.
So he could have been saved. Yeah. According to his diet.
Yeah, I mean, he still can now.
Yeah.
He'll just eat properly.
Yeah.
He may have extra scar tissue that could take years and years to get rid of.
Right.
But at least his leg could correct itself to where he could function better.
Yeah, he actually died because he had some other things wrong.
Well, they can't help his leg.
I know.
That's a lost cause.
Yeah, I find that
What was that?
when I try to get into the weight loss phase,
Uh-huh.
I go like carb crazy, like partway through the day, and I'm like, and I just have trouble in that transition.
Okay, you're talking about my weight loss program from the book?
Yeah.
Okay, well, some people have a hard time with that one. So I've come up with another one. It takes weight off a little too fast, so you need to slow it down if it's coming off too fast. Don't take advantage. I like people to be fat, because the fat protects your cells. If you don't have fat in there, all the poisons you breathe and take in your body, they'll go into your live cells and damage your cells. And that's where disease develops. That's where fibromyalgia, pain everywhere, fatigue sets in. When your cells are damaged, you've got a problem. If you have lots of fat on your body, you're protected. So there's my type of lady right there. Perfect. A healthy lady. You know, so she is protected. She is healthier. And you've heard of that, fat and happy. You know?
No, it's fat, dumb, and happy.
No, fat, aware, and happy.
It could be somehow too fat and not...
Yes.
You could be somehow too fat, you know.
Well, sometimes you can be too fat. I mean, but not. It depends on where it all stores. If it's even like it is on her, it's perfect. Okay. On Jan, it's quite a bit in this area. She needs to take some of that fat that's a little too toxic, get rid of it, and put back on some better fat. So, a different weight loss method that's a little bit faster and usually easier for those people who can't. My weight loss in the book is designed to be slow. This one's quicker for those people who have trouble staying on a weight loss for long because of all the cravings and the craziness goes on. So the first thing in the morning you have a vegetable juice, about 8 ounces, no more. And in the vegetable juice you have an egg in it. You whip an egg in it. Not blend an egg in it, but whip an egg in it. Then every 30 minutes to 45 minutes you eat a raw egg, Rocky style, or the way I do, suck it out of the shell.
Every 30 minutes?
Every 30 to 45 minutes. So that means anywhere from 24 to 30 eggs a day, providing you're sleeping about 6 hours a night. It's not easy to sleep as much as long when you're on a weight loss. So you may get 6 hours in. And then before you go to bed, now if you start getting weak, you need to throw about a cup of meat somewhere around 6 o'clock in the evening. Then a cup of milk right before you go to bed, and a cup of milk during the night.
You said something.
And you do that diet, and you'll take the weight off pretty quickly.
Cup of milk in the middle of the night, you said?
1 cup of milk in the middle of the night, cup of milk before you go to sleep. Now the cup of milk, now the eggs, they're digested in 16 to 23 minutes. So it doesn't even get through the digestive tract. So the digestive tract is all left alone. So the only way it gets its food is from the lymph system delivering, or the blood delivering the nutrients to the intestines. So they don't have to work. They can be healed. With the body, because there's no time and no stress and no activity by digesting the egg, or very little, the body starts eating up the fats in the body quickly. I've seen people lose 10 pounds a week, on that. So I saw one person lose 18 pounds a week on that. So it's very fast, so don't go too wild on it.
Now, are there going to be those wild cravings of like, could be some honey,
If it is, then you have some honey. Honey's okay.
Can you try to lose weight?
Absolutely. Honey, as long as it's not heated over 93 degrees, is mainly enzyme. When the bee collects the nectar, it swallows it. It pre-digests it. It adds an insulin-like substance that converts the honey into mainly enzymes for digesting mainly proteins, secondarily fat. So it will help you break down your fats in your body.
Honey?
Yep.
So how much should you eat?
Well, not too much, because it can cause a protein deficiency at the same time. So you need, let's say, a half a cup a day.
Okay.
No more than a half a cup a day.
What vegetables do you have to eat?
Do something light that doesn't cause detoxification, like 90% celery, 10% zucchini. 10% parsley.
You don't suggest wheatgrass?
You haven't read my book.
I have.
Okay, in the book I say wheatgrass juice is terrible. Any of the grasses are terrible for the human, because it goes in and it causes acidity in the blood and alkalinity in the intestine. See, actually, the exact opposite of what we need. We need alkalinity in the blood and acidity in the intestine. That doesn't mean your blood should be alkaline. My blood is 5.5.
All herbivores, all carnivores have 5-5 blood. Mine's been 5-5 for 30 years.
You told me something different. You told me to have an egg an hour after the juice.
I'm giving you something different. Your program is different. I'm giving a general here.
Oh.
Okay?
I have a question. So when you burn all this fat, you got to worry about the toxins in the fat. Will that go out also in the weight loss?
In the weight loss, all the cholesterols in the eggs will take that out of the body.
You don't have to worry about detox.
Correct. Yep.
And no detox.
Yeah, no detox juice. Just straight 90% celery, 10% parsley.
So often I find when I go into weight loss, I will go into a heavy detox. I'll be just sick as a dog, feel bad.
This shouldn't do that.
Okay, good.
Not unless you have a chemical in that fat.
Okay.
If there's a chemical in the fat, then you'll get really sick.
Okay.
But it's not usual. Okay. Do you have a question? Nope. John.
I'm tired. I've been tired for 2.5 years. So
You're a tired person.
yes, I am.
You're too skinny.
I don't think I digest very well. There's a time when I ate so much that in the night it would come up in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I was so fat I couldn't eat anymore.
Right. Well, you can go on, let's say, 3 days a month or 5 days, 3 to 5 days a month, do nothing but eggs all day long and milk before you go to bed and milk at night. Give your intestines an entire break from eating, from digesting. And it'll also heal them from the outside in. Okay?
Eggs and milk.
Eggs all day long, milk at night, milk before you go to bed, and milk at night. The milk has the cream in it to relax the nervous system. Because when you're detoxing heavily like that, and your time's not spent on digestion, your whole body has all this extra activity, and it can cause the nervous system to get a little wired.
That melatonin, do you think that's helpful?
You mean supplemental melatonin?
Yeah,
Very.
take it.
All of them are chemicals. There is no such thing as a natural supplement. It has to be heat or solvent extracted. Always. No other way about it. If you want a substance like that, you've taken it into a rock form again. Feed it to your plant. Take those supplements and feed it to a plant that you're going to eat from. You're going to juice the plant, juice the leaves. Then you're going to get a phenomenal amount that you'll be able to utilize and won't cause a collection of toxicity in your body.
Even like standard process or whatnot?
Even standard process. It's all bullshit. You know, they say, well, we told the laboratory, but the laboratory is going to make the product. And it's going to do things that it may not tell you exactly how it does it. And they say, oh, well, it's our patented way of doing it. But let me tell you, I've been in all those laboratories, and every one of them uses chemicals. And usually benzene, a derivative of benzene, is universally used in all laboratories to extract nutrients. And you have to understand that they want those finite nutrients, and there are very little of them in a food. Where are they going to get it all? They're going to process all this food and have all this waste product? Not going to happen. Just like vitamin E. 99.9% of vitamin E comes from Fuji and Kodak. It's not even a vitamin E truly. They paid their scientists millions of dollars to come up with a way to take care of their development fluid waste. One scientist who was very, very bright realized that it was 70% of the structure of vitamin E, D-alpha tocopherol. 70% like it. Not like it, but 70% like it in molecular structure. So he convinced everybody to sell this vitamin E. So when you get a natural vitamin E supplement, let's say you've got 100 units of vitamin E in that capsule, 5% of it's going to be from soy or corn. The other 95% is going to be from Kodak and Fuji, which is a toxic solvent. Saves them
hundreds of $millions a year in storing that chemical. So they just combine it with oil and call it vitamin D. So no supplements are safe and good. They will poison you and give you highs. They will contaminate you and cause adrenaline rushes and make you feel like you're good, but so does cocaine. That doesn't mean it's healthy. It'll get rid of symptoms, but that doesn't mean you're getting better. That doesn't mean you're getting well. That doesn't mean you're getting rid of your disease. Sometimes it will stop the disease because the body has to use all of its nutrients just to handle the poison. If you want a short life, hell, it's the way to go for some people. And that's okay. I have no judgment about it. But if you want to have a chance on longevity without disease, it's not the way to go. Okay, do you have a question?
Yes. Almost 6 months ago, I contracted shingles. And it really left a lot of nerve damage. It landed in my hand, and this part of my body, but it was really my hand. And it left musculature damage and nerve damage with a lot of pain that I still have. And I read that to use to eat cucumbers and the coconut cream. But how much of the coconut cream per day?
Well, coconut cream is very detoxifying, so I usually say no more than 5 ounces a day for somebody your size.
More than 5 ounces.
No more than 5 ounces a day.
Okay.
For someone your size.
Will that regenerate the nerve?
That doesn't regenerate. See, anytime you have shingles, it's from penicillin or antibiotics. And the molds grow perpetually in some people, and a lot of people. So and that comes, and it stores in the joints a lot. Penicillin will usually come out as a black mold. Can cause a black mold on the hands. You see it in people's nails, on their feet. You see black areas in their feet. It's all penicillin discharge and mold. That's the excrement from the penicillin. Tetracycline is a little different. It sounds like you had tetracycline or Cipro or something like that that caused your nerve damage.
Not a great deal, but I probably haven't.
See, in some people it grows, you can't stop it. It grows and multiplies like crazy.
Coconut cream and cucumbers.
That doesn't regenerate the tissue. That helps clean that tissue out of there. But to destroy the molds...
Well, what about the pain?
The pain, you have to use the pain formula in the recipe book. Honey and butter, eat a little bit of that all day long. Soak it in hot water with coconut cream and milk in it. Hot water bottles, put your hand on a hot water bowl at night. All of that heat is to make sure that you increase circulation into that area. Anytime you have a bruise or a sprain or a break, never put cold ice on it. When you do that, you constrict the circulation into that area. You're restricting the nutrient flow. So what's going to happen? You're going to keep the bruised tissue in the area and you're going to scar. What happens to those athletes that keep putting ice on it? What happens? They have surgeries, multiple surgeries, because they never heal properly. They keep re-injuring and re-injuring. Remember the Oscar that I talked about and We Want to Live? The skier? Put him on a good diet. He won 2 medals, a year and a half after after his injury, where they'd say he'd never even be able to dance again. And, in Switzerland he won medals, so the body can heal itself if you don't freeze it up, if you don't constrict and you allow the proper nutrients. Putting ice on an area any more than 2 minutes is a bad thing. Put lots of heat on it, and then if you just want to numb the pain a little bit, put some ice on it for a little while. Like I say, when I had my problem and the pain, my leg would just get burning hot and painful. So the little Thai ladies would take the refrigerated coconut oil, coconut cream, which is as hard as butter when it's cold. So they'd take a big glob of it, just rub it over my knee and down the shin and up and down for about 5 minutes, but not one place did it stay on, did the ice sit there. And it was never that cold as ice. It was down to about maybe 48 degrees, 45 degrees is all it was. And that was enough to numb the pain, but not enough to cause a restriction of circulation of nutrients into the area. That you do not want to do, because you will scar and you will not heal properly. So, lots of heat in hot water will help you perspire the toxins that remain that have caused the nerve damage from the fungus waste. Okay?
Lots of heat.
Lots of heat.
Butter and honey.
Yes.
Well, you started to tell them how to get rid of the mold. What was that?
How to get rid of the mold is I wrote an article. It's in the newsletter this week. So just pick it up on the newsletter. Pardon? Swollen ankles? It depends on what the swollen ankles are from.
I have lupus.
Lupus? You don't have bad lupus.
I don't know what kind of lupus is.
Let me tell you, people who have bad lupus is a deterioration of the connective tissue. People who have lupus advanced, they can't even pick up a pencil without severe pain.
Well, I was in the hospital almost dying with the kidney problem.
So you got it reversed? You reversed it on your own, because the medical profession doesn't know what to do with it.
Chemotherapy, and I was with pills, I got my ankles damaged, the whole story. But right now what I have, I feel good, fine. I don't take any medication now. My ankles are swollen, and I don't know why.
Well, just put those in hot water to make sure you keep perspiring out the toxins from the ankle. That's about all you can do. But that's good. But put some coconut cream in that water. But like, let's say you have a gallon and a half of hot water. Immerse your foot in that and have about 4 tablespoons of coconut cream in it with some sea salt and about a quarter cup of milk, raw milk, and that'll help. Okay, do you have a question, Louis?
Yeah. Regarding pre-digested milk, when of course, one way to pre-digest it is to turn it into kefir on the shelf. How about if the milk becomes old and sour in the bottle? When does it become pre-digested?
As soon as it sours, it's already into pre-digestion.
Well, you say separate.
So I see. So if you leave it in the bottle and it turns sour, it's pre-digested, and you don't have to warm it if you don't want to.
No, that is your certain parts of it are pre-digesting, but not the whole thing. You have to leave it out for that to occur, unless you have a kefir grain or yogurt grain in it. Then it will still work. There are certain elements that in refrigeration won't pre-digest.
Okay, so
casein is one of them. Casein is one of them.
I see.
It's one of the proteins in milk.
So it's always best to leave it out for at least 5 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you want to drink cold milk, not a good idea because it contracts the stomach.
Right.
You don't secrete hydrochloric acid. The milk moves into the duodenum undigested. Casein and lactate will get into the blood along with a lot of undigested milk solids. So drinking cold milk is not a good thing unless you're just having about 2 ounces at a time and you're on a hot day. It's going to warm that a little bit. But if you drink a half a cup, or a whole cup, it's going to get into the duodenum undigested. That's fine. That's fine.
You leave out the milk 2 days and it's fine.
But most people gulp their milk cold to get that cold sensation to cool themselves. And the other way, if you want to drink a cold dairy product, cream is fine because it doesn't make any difference. The hydrochloric acid doesn't do anything with the fat. That's all in the duodenum already because that's where the body shoots bile into the fat, is in the duodenum. So you don't have to worry about eating cream cold, that's fine. If you want to drink a cold liquid milk product, then you make a liquid kefir, a fluid kefir. And you just do that by putting like 2 tablespoons of honey into a quart of milk, or 4 tablespoons into a half a quart in a glass jar. What I do is I'll take about 6 ounces of milk and blend it with 2 to 4 tablespoons, depending if I'm making a quart of milk kefir or a half gallon of kefir. I'll blend that in the milk, because if you put the honey in cold milk or even room temperature milk, it's going to take many, many hours to dissolve. Sometimes 12, 13 hours, 14, 15 hours. Depends upon how warm your house is. So if you blend it, it's already pre-mixed, and then you pour it in, and then shake it up in the rest of the milk. Put that in a warm cupboard or a warmer place in your house, like in an upper cupboard. And in 24 hours, you'll have kefir. You can put that in the refrigerator and drink that cold because it's already pre-digested.
What if you eat cold meat? Can you drink the warm milk on top, or do you have to wait?
You should wait.
How long?
Yeah, probably 20, 30 minutes.
That long?
Yeah.
Okay.
About how much normal temperature milk should I drink a day? Any barometer?
Well, that's up to you. I drink 2 quarts a day. In the summertime, maybe a quart, a little over a quart in the winter. But I don't use heat except when patients come.
Okay.
My house is freezing cold, so I just bundle up. Because I'm in the mountains of Malibu, near the coastline, so it gets pretty cold up there. Even hails and snows up there. It doesn't stick very long, but still gets cold up there. Do you have a question?
Well, I guess I have the problem of not being able to gain weight. I can lose 15 pounds or 12 pounds in 2 weeks, and then it'll take 7 years to get it back. I'm still not at my regular weight, and I eat more than anyone else.
Well, that just that's an indication you're not digesting well. So take 2 days and eat lots of eggs. Eat like 40 eggs a day for 2 days. And then when you eat the regular diet in my recipe book, the one where there's just 2 meat meals a day, and you make that moisturizing formula. It's called the moisturizing lubrication formula. For women, it's moisturizing. For men, it's lubrication. Okay. Make 2 of those. Make a double batch, and have a third of it after each meat meal, and a third during the night. You will gain weight, I promise. Okay? Do you have a question?
Last time, I think last year we talked about the yeast and candida, and so since then I noticed my body feels really good, but the urethra seems to still flare up. And I also notice when I have honey and I do drink cream, I notice it starts flaring up again. So I was wondering what to do about the flaring up part, because I notice it really hurts when it flares up.
Well, when you have that combination, put a tablespoon of lime juice in it. Lime. Because remember, the process, the urethra is the last tract of the urinary tract. So it's going to be the last place to defend itself against any of those high yeasts, those fungus that you have in the body. She was a vegetarian for a very, very, very long time, full of all these sugars that fungus feed on very easily. So when you get down to the end of the urinary tract or any part of the body, it's going to receive fewer nutrients. And lime juice will help destroy fungus. So just put a tablespoon of lime juice in there. In the formula that I've given in the newsletter, it's about a less dangerous way of doing it and of using lime juice on a weekly basis. So go with that if you want to destroy. If you've ever had antibiotics in your life, you want to do that one day a week. Okay? That formula on the newsletter for destroying fungus.
I'll help you get on the info.
Okay, I just wanted to get clarity. So add a tablespoon of lime juice with the cream and honey?
Yes, you put the lime juice, mix it into cream and honey.
And also, I need to understand one thing about douching.
Douching, yes.
Because I notice sometimes, especially women, get bacteria from the back into the vagina area, and I want to know, that also is a problem.
Well, you've got a lot of fungus that are still discarding into that area. So the best way to douche is to take a kefir that you've made, not a foreign kefir. Now, you don't want to use a foreign kefir grain in this. You want the natural bacteria, because the grain bacteria works against your natural bacteria. It will even eat the natural bacteria. The bacteria that grows in milk naturally will not do that. So that's why I like to just encourage it with honey. It helps those bacteria grow quickly. Okay? So you just take that and dilute it with a little Gerolsteiner water. You don't shake it up. You just stir it, just lightly in there, so you don't lose all the carbon. And then you douche with that. You can use a little bit of maybe a teaspoon of lemon and a teaspoon of lime juice mixed in the kefir before you mix it with the Gerolsteiner, and then douche with that. Okay, you're welcome. Do you have questions?
Yeah.
Hold on. You what?
My heart starts racing sometimes when I fall asleep, and it seems like it's related to my thyroid. Because if I take something for my thyroid, I don't have it. But it'll just hit me like...
What do you take for your thyroid?
It was like a supplement for thyroid gland. I know you hate it, but I've taken it. I've only taken it like 2 or 3 times, and then I'm okay.
Is it the freeze-dried gland, or is it some medication?
No.
It's a freeze-dried gland. Well, that's okay. That doesn't mean that's causing. That's keeping the heart from racing. The heart is racing any time poisons get into the blood. The faster the heart pumps during a time like that, it's very difficult for a heavy metal to settle anywhere it should not.
So it's because the heavy metals are coming from the rest of my tissues?
As soon as you lie down.
It's like every night.
As soon as you lie down. You have to understand, as soon as the sun goes down, your nerve starts going into a detoxification. By midnight, detoxification of the nervous system is heavy. From midnight to 5 a.m. So you're going to bed at the time where it's just about starting heavily. You're getting all those metals into the blood. Heart says, You're going to do that. I'm going to have to pump and keep that blood moving until we get enough minerals in there to bind with those heavy metals so they don't store and damage the heart. Because if they get stuck in the heart, what do? They'll cause a Charlie horse in the heart. What's a Charlie horse in the heart? Heart attack. And if you panic during a heart attack, you will die. Anybody who has a heart attack, do not panic. You will never. I've had 300 heart attacks when I had angina, and I didn't die once. I passed out 50 times of the 300, but I didn't die. Yes, that's true. I know what near-death experiences are like. Yes. You've got some heavy metal stuck in your heart muscles.
I feel it too.
You've got that strychnine or whatever it was arsenic stored in your heart muscle. What you might want to do...
It's been like that for 2 years. The heart actually can feel it.
Yeah.
come right, you can see it.
What you might want to do is eat a lot of cheese before you go to bed. Make sure you have lots of minerals. About maybe an hour and a half before you go to bed, lots of cheese and honey. Okay? Abraham, do you have a question? No? Behind Abraham. You with the red hair. Do you have a question?
Just a just, she asked me if what do you recommend for any kind of obsessive compulsive condition?
You're talking about excessive compulsive in physical activity or mental?
Both.
Lots of milk and lots of raw cream. Settle the body down.
Just wanted to know what he drinks a lot of soda. She's just trying to find a way for him to stop.
Lots of milk. Lots of milk. You know, you can make something like a mixture of take about a half a cup of fruit, put about 3 tablespoons of coconut cream in it, about 5 tablespoons of raw cream, and about 1.5 tablespoons of honey. Blend that all together and put it with about 3 ounces of Gerolsteiner. It'll make like a float, a fruit float, and that's very satisfying.
Is there anything like that will help stop the craving?
That's what I'm talking about. That will help stop the cravings for the soda. He'll start craving that instead of the soda. Soy milk is poison. Soy milk is highly chemically processed with benzene byproducts. So it's all chemical. And when they do that, soy has a lot of IgG, which is a steroid in the brain, high in the brain, and it causes brain tumors in laboratory animals. And I mean 36% of laboratory animals got brain tumors living on soy. Soy processed for humans' consumption.
How do you get that soy out of your body?
Not easy. Not easy. You just have to stay on a good diet for a long time and make sure you're eating enough cheese, have enough minerals to bind with it, eating enough coconut cream every day. Okay. Do you have a question?
Yes, I'm here because my friend has a intestinal tumor operation and he is on the 4th chemotherapy session. So I read in your book you're suggesting lots of foods that can help. So I would like to know. I talked to them, they're not here, they're in Croatia, and I talked to them and I told them that I'm coming here today to ask you, do you have any suggestions? Because it's not, I don't know, maybe it's too late because he has lymphomas now and his liver is touched too.
Well, I've seen people, with cancer riddled in 6 places in their body, in their life. I had cancer of the stomach, started with cancer of the stomach, cancer of the blood, bone, and then lymph. I'm the only person who's lived over 3 months who's had those 4 cancers. So, and I'm 39 years ago I was supposed to die. So I never say anybody's a hopeless cause. It's not easy, but it's a long process, and that I can't tell you here. That will take probably 20, 30 minutes.
He's very positive about everything, and he has a good hope, and he wants to live. And so, what will be good for his wife to prepare for him this period of going through chemo?
Well, there's a lot of things, but I don't have time to answer that kind of a question. That's a very personal thing for that individual. So you'd have to call me about a consult for that. Okay. I mean, if you just said, what can he do to help digest better, I'd say raw eggs. What can he do to protect himself from an ulcer and help his ulcer? Cabbage juice. But, you know, he's got multiple complicated problems, so I just can't address all of that here. Okay? Do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what you suggest for treating hemorrhoids. I was reading in your book about alkalizing food, but is there anything more specific?
Yeah, like I say in the book, take just a thin piece of, of meat and put it up there. You might coat it with a little bit of honey, before you put it up there. Sometimes it doesn't stay up there, it slides in and out. So, you might want to make a little, carve a little, like a little barbell, a little tiny one, so it's got a plug at both ends, so it won't go in and it won't go out. I mean, for 1 out of 10 people, that's a problem. My rectum was always so dry, I didn't have to worry about that. But some people have very lubricated rectums. Most people don't. So that's the best thing you can do. Also, cabbage juice is good for that. Yeah.
I have a question. My brother just finished his chemo 2 weeks ago, and he's having some symptoms of mucositis. It's excruciating pain. Is there anything that you recommend that he could...
Well, the chemo's coming out his mucous membrane.
So he needs to eat a lot of milkshakes to produce a lot of mucus, to get that out of his system. Because as long as that chemical is staying in his mucous membranes, there's going to be pain, severe pain.
So he's, can he have raw milk? Because, his immune system's low, and he's scared to have anything, like raw milk.
That's what he has to have. But with eggs, not raw milk alone. It'll dry him out. It won't help. He needs to have eggs. He needs to have ice cream is what he needs to have. Raw ice cream formula, not frozen. So, half and half, milk and cream, honey, and eggs. So it should be 1/3 cream, 1/3 milk, 1/3 eggs. So half a cup of each, and about 2 tablespoons of honey. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a question?
I actually have a sugar addiction, which is how
you have a what?
I have a sugar addiction, and I
welcome to the club.
I used to be a pastry cook, and the raw honey, because I had some raw honey today, and it made me want more, and so I feel like if I...
Go ahead, pig out on honey, it's okay. I've eaten up to a quart of honey a day, but you can't do that every day, but you pig out on it for a while.
Sugar and things, that's what made me, I ate a lot of bad carbs and whatnot, and I gained body fat, which I didn't want to do. And now that weight plan you were talking about, when you're losing all that weight, are you losing muscle weight or are you losing water weight? How are you getting rid of all that weight? Or what is it exactly that's being lost?
From eating the honey?
From eating those eggs, the weight plan you suggested.
Well, you're losing mainly fat, but everything that goes along with it. Everything that fat is contained, all the poisons in that fat will be leaving your body too.
I feel like I still have a lot of, because that was like a good 2 years worth of bad sugars that I was...
Yeah, well, you've got a lot in there to remove. And you may get lots of acne from it, you may get some rashes, you may get some hives. Just follow the things it says in the book for that. Because mainly fungus will break that down in your body. Bacteria don't feed well on high carbs, high sugars, nor do parasites, except for the tapeworm. So it's hard to get a tapeworm in this country. Everything's so poisoned in our system. Tapeworms are very sensitive. You can kill those so easily. You can eat half of an onion and kill a tapeworm. So eat as much honey as you like. But if you want to slow some of that down so that you're not just taking honey, have honey and butter mixture. You get a whole food. Yeah. Rawsome, you get a better quality of rawsome. Do you know what rawsome is? No, you won't find it anywhere. 665 Rose near Lincoln. Yeah. 655 Rose Avenue. 665 Rose Avenue.
Only on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays and Saturdays. Yes.
You mix honey and butter for my nerve pain. How long a process is that?
A few minutes.
I mean, for weeks?
Oh, to have honey and butter?
For the pain?
Until it stops. Until the pain stops. That could be, with that condition already that old, a year and a half. But it's still, that's better than never going away. Most of the people have it for life because the doctors don't want to repair it. Pharmaceutical houses don't want to repair it.
How often do you eat the honey and butter?
Often as you have pain. As often as you feel you need relief from pain. Do you have a question? I'm going to get to you.
So I had the consultation yesterday. You said my weight was perfect, but actually I'm probably 60 pounds heavier than I want to be. And like I played basketball this morning, like a bull in a china shop. And I want.
You're a big guy.
I mean, I feel best probably about 190 pounds, and I'm 270 right now. I mean, but.
And how tall are you? You're what? 6'2". I'm 5'7" and 3/4", and I'm 182 pounds, and he wants to be 190. Does that make sense? No.
When I was 18, that's what I was. And
that was when you were 18.
Okay. Well, anyway, I want to dump a lot of weight. I mean, I exercise and stuff like that. I want to get back in, playing shoes.
Well, would you rather be happy or fit looking?
Well, I was happy when I was down to 200 a couple years ago.
That's when you were a kid.
No, not 2 years ago. I was down to 200. No. I stopped playing for about a year because I concentrated on business and stuff. But, I mean, I'm going to be happy regardless. I'm not worried about that part.
Oh, yeah? I saw your eyes. I don't think so.
I can't be unhappy. Let me tell you. But anyway, is that going to harm me? As long as I'm taking lots of raw fat and stuff, I just exercise.
If you ate every hour, no. If you can eat every hour, if you can eat some fat every hour, you can stay at a lower weight. As long as you don't get injured. If you get injured, then you're in trouble.
Is there any kind of,
it's like when I got injured here, I was up to 192 pounds. I mean, I don't look, I'm 23% body fat. Do I look it? No. Because fat molecules, when they're not cooked, are very small, very fine, and very concentrated. When you cook a fat, it swells 10 to 50 times its normal size. So I've had nothing but raw fat since 1972. So the fats in my body are all small. So I can be fat but not look it. They say that an male athlete should be 7 to 10% body fat. I'm 23% body fat. It's 3 times what I'm supposed to. If you look at 7%. So.
Well, I think I'm about 45 right now.
You're probably 32, 33%. Anyway, you can take off some weight, but if you get uncomfortable and start having problems, put it back on. Regain it.
I mean, it's like there's no problem with exercising too much or anything when you're on this diet. So.
Well, this diet isn't. It's a miracle, but it isn't magical. So you still have to be reasonable.
I can't exercise too much as long as I keep my guts. I mean,
no, you can exercise too much because you can spend all of your energy on exercise. Then your body's not going to heal and detoxify well.
I'm supposed to take like a 1,800-mile bike ride in 2 weeks.
Okay, then take off, for a few weeks after. Slow down for a few weeks after. Maybe only do 2 hours a day after that. For 3 or 4 weeks or a month just to let your body catch up. Okay? You're going to do something intense like that. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to share with you just what I'm observing, what I'm going through. Maybe you can put it together. Which is at various times in the day, and it doesn't happen all the time, but I get like a foggy mind. That's a perfect way to describe it. And it's always accompanied by like energy drops, lack of focus and whatnot. And it used to be more severe. It's okay now by eating more regularly, like every 2 hours or whatnot. But I wanted to ask about that. At the same time, I'm still trying to put on more weight. when I first started the diet, bang, like 30 pounds. Then it went down, and since it's plateaued. And I know, so I've been trying raw milk, raw cream, and whatnot. But actually, it kind of made me bloated. So I stopped it. Bloating went away, but the weight is still plateaued. And I don't know, how to kick that up. And I don't know if those things are related, but...
Okay, just like I told her. Obviously, you got some toxins stored in your intestines, and you stop digesting for a while until that cleans. So maybe 2, 3, 4 days of the month, you do nothing but eggs. Milk before you go to sleep, milk at night, and then just do that for 3 to 5 days a month, and then go on your regular diet. But you've got to eat meat in the morning and in the evening, and have lubrication formula heavy with each one if you want to gain weight.
Okay, so that's separate than the fast, the egg fast? That's separate than the egg fast?
Yes.
Okay. But then, so about the foggy mind energy drop, is that going to become worse if I do that egg thing?
Usually your mind becomes extremely acute because you've got so many proteins from the egg white making glycogen instead of carbohydrates making the glycogen.
So that egg thing you said, so 5 days a month, is that like once a week type of thing?
Once a month. You do for 5 days in a row of a month. Okay. Yeah, every 30, 31 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I don't know if you're going to be able to get through 5 days of it, but you can get probably 2 or 3 days, and that will make your intestines good. But then let's say after 2.5 weeks, you get sluggish again. You go right back on 2 or 3 days of the eggs. Give your intestines time to catch up, and then you'll be able to gain the weight.
So then going back to the diet will be more effective.
Yep. Because then you have the digestion full force again.
And that lack of clarity kind of thing, that's what is that a result of?
That's toxic sugars getting into the blood, making the nervous system and blood fluid very sticky, or a lack of carbohydrate altogether.
So the carbohydrate comes from the carrot?
That's the glycogen. Glycogen, yeah. Glycogen is what the brain and nervous system uses as energy. And it can be made either from a carbohydrate or from pyruvate, which is protein. When it's made from carbohydrate, you have a lot of AGEs, advanced glycation end products, that cause the blood, the nervous system, nerve fluid, and the lymphatic fluid to get very thick and sticky. So cells stick to one another as they go through. Synapse gets sticky, and it misfires. It goes to the wrong place or doesn't fire at all. Fire is short because it gets sticky. It's too thick, too heavy. When your body uses protein, the pyruvate, to make glycogen, there is only 8% byproduct of advanced glycation end product, whereas with carbohydrates it's 70 to 90%. And we can handle about 12% at a time. So when your body makes glycogen from pyruvate, there's no stickiness. So the mind stays very alert and clear. Okay? Do you have you've got your question. Do you have a question?
Is fermented whole soybeans also bad? Fermented whole soybeans.
Very bad. Yeah. The soybean is meant for herbivores. In order for a human to digest them, they have to be incredibly processed. There's a poison in them. If they're germinated, they still are poisonous. When they are fermented, there is less poison in it, but you still got a high IgG problem with it, and it's still a vegetable. It takes an herbivore to digest it. An herbivore has 2.5 times longer digestive tract than we do, has 60,000 times more enzymes to digest the cellulose molecule to get the fats and the protein. We may get some starch from that bean, but it's not a good quality for the human body. Okay. Roger, do you have a question?
Yes. What about walnut oil? Is that okay to take?
Let me say one more thing about that. when you eat those fermented beans, they destroy some of the bacteria in the intestines, and it can start forming a lot of gas, cause a lot of gaseous formation. And it can also cause the blood to get too acidic, cause irritability, cause weight loss, things like that. Soy sauce is terrible that way, causes a lot of weight loss. Or headaches, causes water retention, causes weight loss and muscle loss, muscle mass loss. But water retention. Yes, Roger, I'm sorry.
Well, I was asking about walnut oil because I know you don't like vegetable oil. It hardens in the system.
Right.
But does walnut oil do the same
Walnut is a fruit oil. It won't harden as much as vegetable oils will, or as hard as seed oils will, but they still can be a problem in the body when they're concentrated. When you get an oil, if you really want it to be digestible for the human body, you have to ferment it. Fermented cod liver oil, fermented fish oils, fermented snake oil, fermented coconut oil. All of those things come from a fermentation process. Seal oil. It's very easy to ferment it. All you do is take the seal meat and the blubber, and you put it in a jar, or the snake. You peel it, and you wind it up in a glass jar, and you let it sit in the refrigerator at about 48 degrees for 5 or 6 months. And you have, the oil leaves the tissue. And then you have a pure oil that is fermented. It has partially been broken down with the bacteria from the protein in the meat. It doesn't taste good, and it doesn't smell good, but it's certainly good for you. An oil that's a walnut oil that is just pressed has no fermentation value to it. If you ferment the walnut first and then press it, yes, you will get a good oil, but no, it won't taste good. Because once you ferment, that kind of oil won't taste good. The only oil that tastes good after and during fermentation is coconut.
Okay. Coconut in there for months at a time?
Pardon?
You leave coconut, like coconut cream, would you leave that in the fridge for 6 months?
It only takes 19 hours of room temperature for oil to separate from coconut. It's that quick, 19 hours.
From coconut cream?
From coconut cream, yeah. And that's the process in the Philippines and Thailand where we get ours. We're just getting Thailand right now from some friends of mine that make it. And it's a 19-hour process, and I've sat there and watched them do it. And it's a delicate process, and you have to have certain kinds. You got these glass vats that are made, and they go up in a funnel like this, and then they've got a glass decanter on it that allows because the oil goes to the bottom, so they have to drain the oil off of the bottom, and then they have to do it again to make sure it's completely pure, so it doesn't start fermenting in any way. More fermentation, because then if it goes into the jar and ferments, it's illegal in this country. FDA says there can be no gaseous fermentation growing in a product. So they usually cook the hell out of everything, so nothing's alive and nothing's growing.
But you can make that yourself in the fridge. Just put it in the fridge if you make your own coconut cream?
No, the coconut oil coconut oil, don't put it in the fridge. It'll never separate.
Oh, just leave it out.
You have to leave. With coconut oil, to get coconut oil or coconut cream, it has to be room temperature. Coconut cream in the refrigerator never separate, or rarely separate. When it does, it gets very slimy.
You have to eat both?
Pardon?
You okay to eat both? Oil and cream?
Well, oil, again, is just, it only has the oil-soluble vitamin. And most of these vitamins are in the other part, the water-soluble vitamins and enzymes. That's why I like coconut cream. I don't like coconut oil, unless it's for a medicinal process. You eat the whole coconut cream.
All of it.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. You're eating the coconut cream. That's what I do. I don't have coconut oil unless there's a problem. If people want to detox some old oils in their body and old toxins, then eat coconut oil. Maybe a tablespoon a day, or a tablespoon of olive oil a day, or flax oil, but only as medicine.
Okay, yesterday I used an oyster knife, and I was separating the meat from the coconut shell, and the shell broke and went right through my fingers.
And what do I say in the book? Use a glove. Anytime you're using an oyster knife and you're shucking something, use a knife. Use a glove. A leather glove.
That's why.
Okay, we got around to everyone except Kathy.
Oh, okay, now I was on this weight loss. I'm losing the weight. Now, once I go down the required amount of weight, would I be going, is it stabilizing the weight, or just gaining it up again, or what would my diet be after I reach?
Well, it's summertime. If you take it off while we're still in the summertime, you just go into weight maintenance. Then when it starts getting cold, then start gaining weight again.
What would the weight maintenance be?
Well, so your regular diet, just with less fat.
Weight.
Before you go on the weight, you're on the weight loss right now, okay? What did you do before you went on the weight loss? That's what you do when you go on the weight maintenance.
I don't know. It phased me out. I forgot now. In a way. Well, I'll have to talk to you. You'll be around.
Then just call me at that time and I'll give you another diet.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay?
I haven't done my
question. My mother. Because I thought I didn't answer it. Oh, okay. I thought I didn't. Okay.
What time is it?
Well, after 5.
Oh, so we just did it.
I haven't done my question.
My mother's foot is infected red.
Two of us.
Just when my
that's right, you haven't.
When my mother's foot is infected, infection in her foot, what is the best thing to put on it? Coconut cream?
Lime juice and coconut cream.
Mix it in?
Lime, no. Put the lime juice on first, then coconut cream and honey. Okay? Your question.
Yes. Certain forms of martial arts deal in energy they call chi. And do you have any kind of diet or recommendation in terms of developing chi and unrestricting the flow of chi?
Well, that's just keeping as balanced as possible. And following the diet, the 2 diets that I've recommended in the recipe book, one with 2 meat meals a day, one with 3 meat meals a day. If you follow that, your chi will increase faster than anything else will do it. I have quite a few martial artist masters on the diet, and let me tell you, where they went in 2 years, it took them 20 years to achieve what they achieved in 2 years on the diet. So they had to work 20 years to get where they got in just 2 years on the diet. Does that make sense?
20 years they were working. Get 2 years on the diet.
They worked 20 years before they went on the diet to get to a certain place, and to get that much farther advanced, they only took them 2 years on the diet. Also, a lot of the Scientologists who are going through different kinds of exercises. I had one fellow that had tried to get into auditing for 6 years, and his levels, they wouldn't even take him. 3 months on the diet, he was in audit, just like that. 3 months on the diet. His levels just evened out, so he was able to go into audit.
Auditing, you mean counting numbers?
No. If you don't know anything about Scientology, don't even think about it. It's a counseling. Yeah, his metabolism was so off. So low.
Right.
Couldn't do anything. Yes.
Oh, me? Yeah. I've been buying my honey from a guy at a farmer's market.
Wait a minute, I don't answer anybody who's got boobalas on her.
What?
Boobalas? Oh, it's a restaurant?
Yeah, I don't even know where it is, actually.
That's cute. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I've been getting my honey from a guy at a farmer's market for about 2 years. Then one day I just decided to talk to another guy. Like he's been saying it's raw,
those people lie. Farmers market.
I mean, I've asked this guy so many times. Every few months, I'd sneak in a little question.
Yeah.
But so I went to talk to another guy. Pacifica also sells there. You know, he showed me his honey. And he says, this honey over here, I heat with lamps to 100 degrees, so it's easy to bottle. This honey over here, I charge you 10. He says it's cold packed. Now the honey over here that he heated looked like the guy's honey that I had been buying it from.
Yep.
It was perfectly clear.
Yep.
So my question really is can you tell by looking at it the fact that it's gotten crystals?
No,
or?
I can taste it'll burn my throat and tongue. But Honey Pacifica I've been working with for 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
They cold pack. You buy the cold packed honey from them. That's my quality of honey.
What about the comb? Isn't that a guarantee of...
What?
If you buy honey in the comb, isn't that
Yes.
a guarantee that it's raw?
That's a guarantee that it's raw.
Yeah, that's why I always buy the comb.
Yeah.
Are there any other indicators?
Yes. That's just their office. That isn't where their hives are. There's no honey and there's no flowers in.
They have honey beds.
Pardon?
They have honey beds.
Yeah, but their main hives are all up around in the deserts.
Is there any other way that you can tell, kind of like, because like sometimes you're out and around and you know what I mean, like traveling across and you want to buy some honey?
There are certain honeys that are on my product list.
Okay.
Y and S, you can usually find a truly raw honey somewhere if you know the brands that are.
So the only way is really through experience because you've checked them out.
Absolutely.
You can't tell by tasting or looking
I
at the
can,
honey. You can't.
but most people can.
Okay. And if it's clear, nice and clear, and that doesn't mean
fresh. It could be freshly harvested.
Because this guy is always clear, always nice and clear.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Never. In 3 months, it's crystallized. It's cold packed.
Okay.
Once it gets out of the hive, once it gets out of the little chamber, it has 3 months maximum to turn crystallized. Before it starts, because that doesn't mean hard completely.
Mm-hmm.
It means it'll start getting very thick and translucent. Can't see through.
Are the bees doing much better now? Because they said the collapsed colony, you know.
Well, the bee hive destruction was not in any organic hives. They were only in the heavily processed hives. And they were probably given some toxic antibiotic. It was probably planned. You have to understand, honey is... There was a big article that came out this week about the values of the healing properties of raw honey, of honey and unheated honey. And that was in a big, New York Times. And that kind of thing is dangerous for the pharmaceutical industry. It takes their money away. So all they have to do is spike the beehive antibiotics to the point where it's killing the bees.
They said 60%, 80% on the East Coast.
Yeah.
They were losing so many.
But none of the organic beekeepers, none of their hives were damaged at all.
Okay, ready for my question.
Okay.
In the milk book that I was reading, they talked about the guy who started Mill Clinic used to recommend anywhere from 2 to 10 quarts of raw milk a day for people. Do you recommend higher amounts than, let's say, 2 to 4 quarts if you drink?
You don't have that value of milk like he had in those days. Because he was doing that in the 20s and 30s. And the value of milk was much, much better back then. So I don't think that. I think that's too much.
So basically, the 2 to 4 quarts is probably what most people would use.
Yeah, I use 2 quarts a day, sometimes 2.5. Yeah. And during the winter, I'll use less because I want to stay warmer. You stay warmer by keeping the H2O level down in the blood. The thicker the blood is, the warmer you stay. So I eat more cheese in the winter and less milk. Yes?
I usually go to the gym before I go to work. And can you tell me what will be good to regain some energy quickly?
Before or after the gym?
After.
After exercise, I'm pretty tired and I have to go to work because that's my schedule. So what will be
I would say down 5 eggs.
after
Like you saw Rocky? Yeah. Okay, he breaks the 5 eggs in the glass and downs it and then goes and does his workout.
Yeah.
And then he wipes his mouth like that, and it doesn't work if you don't wipe your mouth like that. Just 5 raw eggs and you'll have the energy back.
Any way of getting tired?
Yeah, well, you can also eat little amounts of meat if you get tired often. You know, little golf ball sizes of meat, and that'll pick you up. Yeah, but after a heavy workout, 5 eggs is for your size of person. 5 eggs minimum.
With honey or with milk or just...
No, you eat the eggs alone. And then, maybe 20 minutes later, have some honey and butter.
How do you combine the honey and butter?
You stir it.
And how much honey and butter?
For a workout like that, for you, probably 6 butter to 1 honey.
Would it be the same for like when I do a yoga workout?
Probably a little bit more honey in that situation. You're not burning as much fat. A heavy workout like his, you're burning a lot of fat. Burning is the wrong word. We don't really burn. We utilize the fat. It's like you don't eat. When you eat, you don't burn your nutrients up. You don't cook them in your body. You disassemble everything, and they create different energy sources. And that's what happens. So it's not really burning up fat. It's utilizing fat as energy. Okay? We did it.
Finished.
What time do you have? Thank you, everyone, for coming. Oh, let me announce one thing. I leave for Washington, D.C. next Friday. I'm going to lobby with 2 other volunteers. We're going to lobby all the senators and all the House of Representatives to get raw milk reinstated back on a federal level.
All right.
Now, it was never made law by any of the legislature. The jerk Ronald Reagan signed an executive order outlawing raw milk passing state lines because he had a lot of buddies in the dairy industry. So it's not really law, but I'm going to try to make it a law. It's just like I did here in Los Angeles. So I'm going to email everybody when they need to email all the senators, and we're going to blast them.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to go, it'll be a month and a half. I'm going to be there a month and a half educating them about raw milk. And then, hopefully, they'll be educated enough that when we get one of them to write a bill and several of them to support it, it will be voted ayes instead of nays.
I got a better idea.
And anybody who wants to send donations, Right to Choose Healthy Food at that post office box. On the page right before the index in my books, the address, post office box address. Yes.
I got a better idea. Why don't you write the bill?
I am really going to, but you let them write it. You tell them what to say, and then they write it, and it makes them think they wrote it. Yeah. So you have to do it. Oh, anybody who wants to see the X-ray, you can't touch it, but you can see the X-ray. Right.